Hey guys, what is going on, my people? And Teresa was looking down and I scared her. What's going on, my modern leaders? Super pumped to dive into today's training lesson, dive into some really great stuff around saving a massive amount of time by employing leadership and business systems into your life. So with everything going on with family and your business and your personal life and trying to get all of these things together, like one of the things that we have such a limited amount of is time. And having gone through where we were both working full time, both having kids, of course, the same kids, and getting to the point where we wanted to leave our full time job. So we were creating a business. We had to get very specific with our time. Now, you know, from this channel, we've done a lot of different trainings based off of time. The 80-20 principle is generally what we talk about. But there are some like fine tuning, some things that you can do when it comes to like the systems and the programs and the things that you can use. Teammates, we'll talk a little bit about today, really about the power of like finding these tools that will unlock you to create more stuff in less time. Now, we've literally found dozens and dozens and dozens of tools. But Teresa and I this last week, we were like, you know what? How can we find or put together the top 10 tools that we use that saves time, that actually creates more and not only allows us to like unplug a little bit more, but to actually even be out there even more, making more of an impact when it comes down to the end. So we actually were talking about this. Were we driving back? No, or were we on the flight? I don't remember when we were coming up with this, but we were kind of like arguing back and forth about the tools. But you guys are going to be, these are just the 10 best tools for really maximizing your business. Now, we're back. We're here. We're live. For those of you guys who don't know, we were in Maui last week. The video was a recording that we actually put up, but we're back. We missed you guys. We've actually been working on a lot of things behind the scenes, even while we were flying to and from Maui. And by the way, when you have small kids, not small kids, but like 12 and 14, you need a vacation from your vacation when you get back. So we're still trying to figure that out. And I did this great idea of like getting a puppy starting tomorrow, which is going to be great. But we've really been putting something together behind the scenes. We can't wait to tell you about it. It's going to be a little bit about a community that we're building here on YouTube. It's going to be exclusive access to certain things. There's going to be badges that you can get. And as you go, you're going to be able to level up your modern leadership badge. It's pretty awesome. We're going to be talking about that probably over the next few weeks, but definitely stay tuned for that. That being said, I want to welcome you to the call. I want to welcome you to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. So what we do here on this channel is we help entrepreneurs become modern leaders so they can excel both in their personal lives and in their business without sacrificing family time or burning themselves out. We do that via short, quick tip videos on Mondays and Thursdays and longer episodes, usually on Saturdays. Today's Friday, but because tomorrow we decided to pick up our brand new puppy, a mini golden doodle. It's 8 weeks old. It's going to be running the show tomorrow, so we figured we wouldn't be able to do it, so we decided to put it on Friday. But these longer episodes, it really gets us to dive into some of the topics, some of the strategies that we found to be most helpful, and even personalize it for you along the way. Ed, what's going on, my brother? And definitely as you go, if you're here watching this as live or on the replay, we want to say how much we appreciate you for leaning in, for being the leader that we need now more than ever. And if you have any questions, definitely hit us up and we will get back to you very soon. So welcome to the channel. Teresa literally just got back from taking the car back. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So we're like, she literally 1 minute before this went live, she actually walked into the door. So
and stubbed my toe.
And stubbed her toe as fast as she possibly could. What's going on, Anthony? What's going on, my brother? But we're going to dive right into these 10 tools/tips. Now, some of these we will have Kurt ask to or put up the link for you guys. Some of these things are what we term as affiliate links, meaning we get a small commission for you using it. But the links that we use also give you some type of discount or commission or free opportunities. And so if we have something like that related to this tool, we're going to share it. If not, we'll just share like what the website is that we use this specific tool, or if it's a free tool, which is the one we're going to start out as number 1 right now. This is the most time-saving tool that we've had, and it's completely free. Every one of you guys has access to it. We'll talk about that in a second, but then we'll just share the website if it's completely free, okay? So let's dive into these 10 different tools and tips. And Julie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, we are going to be talking about some things that we're going to be reframing as business, but I want to let you know that these are not all just business. These are things that I would also have in my police career. A lot of them would help me in that specific situation. Okay. So good morning, Julie. Glad to have everybody here. Let's jump right in. You ready for number 1?
Yes.
Okay, do it.
Okay. So the first one is ChatGPT. we've talked about this before many times. It's fairly new, right? But I think most of you have probably heard of it. And it is a tool that you can use to be able to, working through mind blocks, or you're trying to create some content. This is a really great tool to have. Like I said, it's newer. So, we're still in the process of kind of learning how it best benefits us. However, what we have realized is that we're not just putting in kind of information for it to just spit out information that we just copy and paste. A lot of times we're able to use it to really kind of frame things in a way that people can understand. I am not a great writer. Like I know that I've done a lot of things. Obviously, I write social media posts, I've created workbooks, I've done all of that stuff, and it's taken me a really long time to do some of these things because it's not my best skill. So using ChatGPT has really helped me in just formulating those ideas, like they're all in my head, and then I kind of type in a question or what it is that I'm trying to convey, and it'll spit out something that is very, very easily digestible for everyone. And then I can tweak it so that it sounds more like me. But it's really a great tool that you can use for many different things. I mean, there's even things that you can do where you can kind of create images out of it. That's completely different. But this particular one, when it comes to like your business, you can create content from this using your skills and blend it in with this technology, which I think is awesome. And the saving time part of it is that you don't overthink things, because that is where we can create that block that we just waste time because we're just kind of overthinking of what we're going to say. Like we don't know how to express something, or we're like, well, we can't say it this way because then it might sound this. So we just completely overthink it. But this really kind of eliminates that, because you just, put in an idea, like a general idea of what you want, and then it'll come back with something that is really great. And you just kind of work with it, and it kind of learns as you go. It learns more about you and like your style, so that it doesn't sound like a robot.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I mean, that's the reason why it's called ChatGPT, is because it takes that information and it makes it into a chat, like as if you're having just a general conversation. It's not like robot talk. It actually sounds like a human. My daughter the other day, you know how if you have kids, you know that when they try to download a new app, it sends you a message and says, "Hey, this person wants to download an app." There's literally an app that basically you get a friend who's an AI, ChatGPT, basically friend. And you talk to it and it talks back to you like as if it's like your best friend. I'm like, what in the world? Do you remember they used to have those little keychains? You like have like a cat or something. You'd have to live and you have to grow it and stuff like that. This is like the next evolution, but don't be afraid of this. It can be so helpful. It's not going to replace you. It's not going to replace people, but it's going to help you elevate what you currently have. So in business, when it comes to like YouTube thumbnails and topics and stuff like that, I use ChatGPT to make it so that I can convince somebody to join the actual live stream. So what's today's? Time is money. Are you using these 10 essential business tools? It's supposed to get curiosity. That's what I tell ChatGPT, like create a topic or a title that creates curiosity that's at a 5th grade reading level, and then it spits out like 5 or 10 different ones. So it's very powerful to use that. But you can also use it like even when you're about to give a training, like, okay, if you have a podcast or you're going to give a training and roll call, right, Julie? You're like, hey, like, I want to teach people how to do X, Y, and Z. Give me a script, or give me like bullet points, or give me some idea of like what you would teach if you're trying to teach people how to do X, Y, and Z. The other day, and you can even use like Alexa. They have some of those capabilities. There's also a lot of other programs. The one that we use, just openai.com, is what ChatGPT is. But there's a lot of other places that are popping up. Canva has it now. I point to her as Canva because she's like the Canva queen. But like it uses different ways. Well, the other day I was talking to, it was Alexa, right? Yeah, I was talking to her. She's right here. Hopefully she doesn't turn on. I'm like, can you teach me how to raise a puppy?
Okay.
She literally gave me 7 different steps. And literally knowing me, like I'm the type of person that like, I will literally sign up for a course and a mastermind and everything just around growing up a dog. Teresa laughs, but she's like, I'm serious. Like I've literally been diving in. And in the matter of like 30 seconds, she told me 7 tips that I had learned from a paid course that I was a part of. I'm like, what in the world? And it's because it's so helpful. Number one, to be able to help, like if you are running into problems where it comes like you maybe don't know how to come up with an idea or a topic or whatever, you can tell it and then it'll spit something out at you that like sounds awesome and you'll just make a few tweaks for yourself. But also if you have questions, I think I responded back like, oh, wow, can you tell me how to raise kids now? Because it was really powerful what she said. But like having something like that, you can even ask questions to, like, hey, I want to convince my wife that I want to buy this. Like, what would you say to her? I swear to it will put out some really awesome stuff. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Now I
and
know
so
your secret.
It's not, no, I just belief bridge you. But like when you understand that you could just like ask it questions and give it back information, it is so powerful because it speeds up that entire process. You've been staring at a blank screen going, I don't know what to talk about today. You go to ChatGPT and say, I'm a life coach for entrepreneurs and leaders. Give me 10 topics that people are searching right now on Google related to how to communicate better. Literally, they give me 10 topics and I'm like, okay, if I have this topic, give me a bullet point like on what you would say if you're describing it on a podcast. It literally writes the whole thing and you're like, holy wow. And then, like I said, you go back and you can make adjustments, but you went from being stuck to now having a great idea. OpenAI and ChatGPT knows a ton of information about what people are searching for. If you say, I want a YouTube like video, it's going to use the analytics from YouTube to design a video title that would be different than if you were to put it on Facebook. I'm putting a video on Facebook. It knows that it talks a little bit different language. It's crazy, guys. All right. It's kind of like in the beginning of Facebook when they're like, how do they know all this stuff about me? It's the same thing here. Lean into it, use it. Of course, you're not going to just copy and paste it. Please don't do that. But like make it personal to you, but allow it to help you. It is such a powerful tool. Okay. That's why it's tool number one. We don't rank these in any order, but I'm going to say this is tool number one. All right. All right. Tool number two. This one will be a little bit easier and quicker. This is having an email list program. The one that we use is ConvertKit. Let me give you the link right here. I'll put it up in the chat here. If you go to modernleadership.us/ConvertKit, I think the beginning part is free, and you get a certain amount of subscribers for free if you use that link. We initially started out free, and then we went to the paid service. But here's why this saves so much time. When you have a system that you can go in and put one, like send or write one email and then have it send out to thousands of people, it's basically your version of social media. So on social media, I don't know if you know this, but they said anywhere between 2 to 3% of your followers will actually see what you post. So when you send an email, for me, sometimes it's 40 to 50% of people open that email. The difference between 2% and 50% is quite a bit, especially if I have like 3,800 people that are on my email list, right? And so when you're creating this email list, when you're compiling a list of emails, which is like you saying, hey, I've got this brand new video, or I got this new training, or I got a book club, hint, that's why we do a book club, right? And then when you give me your email address, I'll make sure that I'll be able to email you the links to the call and all that great stuff. Now I have their email address. And now you want to have a system so that you don't get so overloaded trying to like put them all into your contacts on your phone. Okay. That's initially what I did. I was like, oh, I'll just have 20 or 30 contacts. It started growing. And I'm like, well, did I send them an email or not? When you have a system like this, the reason why we like ConvertKit is because when you send it, it tells you how many people open it, how many people click it, which people click it, like who you can follow up with, what are some emails that worked, what are some emails that didn't work, where are your subscribers coming from? It gives you all of these analytics so you know when you're on the right path and when you're on the wrong path. And having a system like this, there's many other ones that you don't have to use ConvertKit. It's just the one that we've used for like 7 or 8 years because it's really, really intuitive, very easy to do. It's not overly complicated. There's one called, I forget the name of it, but all the business owners were always talking about it. It is so overcomplicated. You literally need to hire someone to manage your email list. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to go in and say, I want to send an email today. Go in and like literally 5 minutes later, send it to 3,000 people and see who opens it and who clicks on it. All right. So finding a way of having a system like this, not only will it save you time and energy, but you'll also get some details that you wouldn't get if you just use your Gmail account or you just use your social media account. Having a way of doing this also means that it's your emails. Meaning if Facebook decides to block you or ban you or adjust or do whatever, because they've been known to do that, sometimes their system does it on accident, you still have 3,000 people that you can reach out to, sell your program, do your product, getting them into your next video, whatever you need to do. You literally have their specific information that you can reach out to them. And you know that the majority of people are going to see it when you send it versus if you're on social media, you have to post it like 20 times just to have, 20% of your following be able to see it. So that's why it's tool number 2 is having some type of CRM, which is customer relationship tool. Is customer relationship management, CRM. There you go. The one that we use is ConvertKit. It's awesome. If you use that link, like I said, I think there's a certain amount that's for free. And then if you decide you want to join, totally go for it. But it's a really great system, very easy to use. Okay. Anything on that?
I was just going to say that it just like builds a better, like intimate relationship with your customers
Ooh,
or
that's right.
potential clients, because email is different than social media. Social media is so loud and like so noisy that, you know, people kind of get lost in it, and you can have like this amazing message, but people aren't really going to connect with it, possibly because there is so much noise. But in email, like if somebody sits there and actually reads your email, like there's more there, right? Like they have more, or you have more of their attention. So it's one of the benefits of having an email list. Okay, the next one is the Meta Business Manager or Meta Business Suite. So if you have a Facebook account and you have a business Facebook account, which is different than your personal, then you have access to the business or the Meta Business Suite. And in this Meta Business Suite, there's a lot of different things you can actually do. One of the things that I use it for, which has in the last several months has saved me a ton of time, is the planner. There's a planner in there. So like a calendar where you can actually post your social media post in advance. And there's a lot of other different tools that you can use in there. We've also used Facebook ads, so you can actually manage some of your ads there. And you can actually see in one page, if you have multiple platforms that you're posting on, this is a really great tool to just kind of have like a bird's eye view of everything that you're doing and like what is doing well and what isn't. But the one that I've used the most, or the tool within the tool that I've used the most, is the planner, because it allows me to be a little bit more productive, because I can have kind of a general understanding of what I want to post for the week, because I do this every Sunday where I plan out my week. And so I plan out my social media content. So I can put this there. I can have it post directly to Facebook and Instagram and many other platforms. I could even upload stories to post later. So that saves so much time, because for me personally, this might be different for others, but for me personally, I can waste a lot of time if I go into a social media app to post organically, which it was what it would be if you just like went in there and posted, real time, because I can get distracted. So I know my habits, and I understand that I might be wasting some time if I do it that way. So what I do is I just go into the planner and I plan out my post. It has saved me so much time. And like I said, it really avoids procrastination, because I'll overthink, because I'll see other people's posts and I'm like, oh, my post isn't that great. So, but if I plan it and I forget about it, set it and forget it, like that infomercial from back in the day, then I don't have to worry about some of those things. So that's why I really like the Meta Business Suite.
Yeah, I have used this a little bit. I have a team who will go in and post my stuff, but I think the philosophy here of like having a program for you to plug your stuff into, so you don't have to do it in the moment, day to day, is a game changer. So I was talking to one of my one-on-one clients, and they were like, how did you do this when you had a business and you worked full-time, working as a police officer, 12, 14, 16-hour days? And it's because I was able to do this in advance. So on Sunday, I would think about everything that I'm going to post. And if I had to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I would literally have all my stories, all my reels, all my videos, everything would already be in there. And I wouldn't have to do anything. Like literally, you don't have to go in and even share your stories. They're already done automatically, right? So having some way of doing that is powerful. And the reason why we talk about like the Meta Business Manager is because it's literally in there in Facebook and it's free. Like, is it the most intuitive thing on the planet? No, it takes a little bit of learning. But once you get through it and once you do it a couple of times, you sit down and you find your strength zone. Maybe that's Sunday between 10 and 11 in the morning. You sit down, you write out all your posts. You say, ChatGPT, I got a life coaching business. Write me 6 different Facebook posts about health and fitness. Boom. You're already good to go, right? And you just attach the photos to it and then make some of the adjustments, right? But this is like you sit down and you do that one day and then you don't have to worry about it. We come across a lot of people when we have one-on-one clients that like struggle with this because they're like, I don't know what to write about today. And we're like, well, why don't you pick that day that you can like sit down, you can go into ChatGPT, you can find all of your different topics. You can create your own topics. You can listen to other podcasts throughout the week and go, hey, I want to talk about this on Sunday. And then on Sunday, you have a list of the things you want to talk about. You just sit down and you batch record it. Batch, do your posts or whatever it is you're going to do. Put it into the system. And like she said, set it and forget it. It's such a powerful tool, especially because it's free, right? So being able to schedule this in advance will save you a ton of time. Okay. Tip number 4 or tool number 4 is something like Calendly. Now, here's what I mean by Calendly. So basically what it is it's a way of scheduling times and appointments with people. We have a lot of coaches. I mean, I co-created a life coach school. We teach a lot of master coaches. So we have a lot of people who have one-on-one contacts with people or get on the phone with them to sell a program or a product. And I got to tell you, if you've ever done this, where you're kind of going back and forth, like, I don't know, what is a good day for you? And they're like, I don't know. Like, how about Tuesdays and Fridays? Well, Tuesdays and Fridays are good. How about like a Wednesday? Well, I don't know about a Wednesday. What time on Wednesday? Oh, it's at 7:00. Well, 7:00, what time? PM or Pacific Standard Time? Or are we like, have you ever done that? And it's like, oh my God. Well, when you get to a higher level and you have 10 people that you're doing that with at the same time, it's very difficult to do that. So what you do is you get a calendar-based system, just like Calendly. I think you can get it for free as well. There's also a paid version of it, but basically what it does is it connects to your calendar, and you go into your calendar and you tell it when you're going to be available for calls, and it will literally go in there. You send a link to the person. Oh, hey, check this link out and sign up for one of my calls. It'll have all the calls that are available in that second. So if somebody goes in there, they sign up, that one now is taken off the list. And then if somebody else clicks on the link, they have to go to a different time. And what it does is it looks and syncs with your current calendar, what you currently have in there. So if I'm doing a podcast or I'm doing a family day, it's going to look in there and go, oh, this is a family day. We can't actually schedule something this day. And so it'll adjust it and it'll put it into everybody else's time zone. So it'll be their time zone and it'll report back to me in my time zone. It's so powerful because it's just a link. Somebody wants to schedule a one-on-one call or whatever. You're like, oh, hey, here's my schedule. And you're good to go. You don't have to worry about going back and forth or anything. It'll pop up, send you an email saying, this person's scheduled at this time. Here's a link to sign up. Or here's a link to go to Zoom. It actually integrates with Zoom. If you have a Zoom call, it'll automatically create a Zoom link for you. The Zoom will be populated already. And it's like, oh, click here when the time happens. It reminds everybody. They have this text feature where it'll also remind them via text if you want to do that. So many different things. Saves so much time and frustration. So I know a couple other, like Acuity is another one that I've heard. We use Calendly. There's a bunch of different ones, but find something that's related to your calendar so that you don't have to do that back and forth, right? If you can't see, all the tools we're telling you about right now, are things that we struggled with because we ran out of time. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to figure out your posts and schedules on the fly, if you're trying to schedule multiple people to have either free calls or even paid calls, and then you're trying to come up with an idea for you to talk about on the podcast episode, and then you're also trying to manage just social media, you don't have an email list, and then something happens to your social. All of these things are problems that we ran into, and these are the solutions. So far out of this, almost all of them are free. That's why I want you to pick 1, 2, maybe 3 tools to lean into this week and see how it's going to be able to save you time. If you're right now, you're like, I don't even get on with one-on-one people. Having a calendar service doesn't sound right. Please don't do it. Just move on to the next one that's going to be the most helpful for you. And that was tip number 4. Number 5. You ready to go? Or you got something on that one first?
No.
Okay, good.
Let's go.
Your eyes are so brown.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we?
Boom.
Okay. Dubsado. Okay. So this is another one where it may not apply to everybody, but this is something that is actually one of many programs. And this is basically a customer database. And it's also like a contract system. So basically, just to kind of paint the picture of what this is, there's a place you can go to where if you're starting to get clients. So yay, you have clients and you want to be able to streamline this process of maybe sending them an invoice or creating a contract for them, and then just kind of having them or having a system to follow up with them. And, you don't want to have to do that just like your calendar. You don't want to have to go back and forth via email and all of that stuff. So there are these systems like Dubsado that can help you streamline all of this. So what we use it for is contracts. So we actually separately, we consulted with a lawyer so that they can tell us exactly what type of contract we can create, or kind of like a template we can have, we input it into Dubsado, and that will auto populate with whoever you're going to be working with. So, let's say you have Jane Smith that you're going to work with, you put in her information, and then it populates that into a contract, which it will send to her. And then it's just really a great tool to streamline these kind of like business processes that you don't actually think about like big picture, because there's so many little steps that we have in business that we don't think about that can not waste time, but that are time consuming.
Mhm.
So when we have systems like this makes it so much easier for us to be able to maximize our time so we can really focus on the things that create the most impact, right?
Mhm.
Another thing we use it for is for invoices. So, let's say, this person now wants to work with you. You have a 3-month contract, and you want to tell them exactly all of the steps, like how much it's going to be for how many months and some of the details of the program and what you're going to help them through. You can create an invoice for them so they get a contract and an invoice in their email. And you could even set up like a little back office for them, or like a little vault for them, so that they can kind of have these documents so that they can, refer to them, because they probably will need to refer to them for tax purposes or whatever, and vice versa. And then you can also communicate with them through that, because it can connect with your email. So it's a really great tool. I chose Dubsado because I actually had someone in a mastermind that I was in came on and talked about this. She was kind of like like an affiliate for Dubsado. So I started to look into it, and I thought, you know what, this would be a really great tool for us to have. We use it as a couple. There's like, a way for you to do it where you have like multiple business accounts. So just a really great tool to streamline like that kind of business process as you're starting to, acquire more clients.
I love it. I love it. Let me give you an idea. So when people first get started out with coaching, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll send an invoice via PayPal, and PayPal doesn't have like, what do you call that? A contract that says, okay, this is how many calls you're going to get. This is what you're going to get included. This is what's included in a coaching session. This is what's not included. Like, a lot of that stuff doesn't happen. That's how we initially started, was like just doing PayPal. And I'll talk about Mighty Networks in a little bit, but it was just like a way of like accepting money. And then I was like, where am I going to put the recordings for people's like calls that we have? How can I upload notes like that we've taken during that? And so it was literally, I was like sending an email. Oh, here's your link to the call. Oh, and here's the notes that I took from the call. Oh, and here's the not the rules, but all the contract things. This is how many calls you're going to get, the days you're going to get the contracts. And then they'd be like, well, what day is it again? Where's the link? So we were like, we need to find like some kind of system to be able to hold this. So what we do now is we go into Dubsado and we say, hey, we have this person. We're going to have a 3-month contract. This is going to be the price. Send them all they need to be sent. They'll be sent the contract that says, hey, sign here, which they actually have to sign. Now we have a written document that says, this is what's included. This is how many calls you'll get. And this is what we can't guarantee. And this is what you're going to be able to get from this, right? They sign it. And then there's a separate email that goes out. This is your invoice to pay it. When it gets paid, they send us an email saying you got paid. Now, Dubsado does not take a lot of money away from that payment. Mighty Networks and other places do take a higher percentage of that. Dubsado is one of those that does not take a lot of money from it. I mean, it's just a part of them processing it, right? But then once we have it, I give them a link to their back office, like Teresa said. And then as we go, I upload the videos. I upload some of the recordings. I upload some of their notes that we have from our session. I upload like a bunch of different stuff. So now they're like, oh, hey, I just got to log into my back office and I'll find the link for the calls, the days of the calls, my previous calls, all those things. It's just in there and I don't have to do anything with it. It's super simple. So this was a problem that we experienced after we started taking on clients going, well, how are they going to pay us? How do they know what they get? All this kind of stuff. Some people don't even get to this point, but we wanted to like make it like really official so that we would have some type of contract like this, like people would know. I mean, and as you grow, you'll find that there's things like this where you start to run into problems. You're like, I need to figure out a system or a way of being able to tackle this. So maybe this isn't right for you right now, but we know there's a lot of different people who are at different places who watch this channel. And so if you're the person who is at that point, definitely give Dubsado a look because it does all of those things and it makes it in a more professional feel than if you were just to send a PayPal thing. Now, I still use PayPal from time to time. It's not a bad thing, but it's just more of like a professional feel and look is what the Dubsado is all about. All right. So that's number 5. Let's jump into number 6 and we're going to speed this up a little bit. The next is called, for me, it's called Evernote. This is tool number 6. Evernote is basically a note sharing document. When you first get started in business, a lot of times it's just you. And you can have a note that's just shared by you. It's totally cool. You can run around with it. It's going to be on your phone. You're good to go. When you start to incorporate other people, or you start to get other computers into your network, or you start to own other computers, you want your notes to be synced between everybody so that you're most up to date and you have a place to kind of store things as they come into your mind. So we'll be driving and I'll have a great idea for a video and I'll look over to Teresa and say, hey, can you open up Evernote and put this down? Like, I got to really remember this video. And she'll open it up because she has access to all of the stuff that we do in there. She'll make a note inside of my YouTube, note. She'll go in there. She'll make the note. Hey, this is the title, or this is the video idea. She'll save it. And then I'll have it later when I actually do want to sit down and actually create my notes, which is usually on Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings is when I do that. So I'll go back into that note, look at all the things that I've incorporated and saved for that week, and then I'll be able to use that, right? But it's also something that I can do for myself. So when we have these videos, I have all the notes. I use Evernote to have them all there. I click share and I send it to Kurt. And so Kurt now knows what we're going to talk about, what the notes are, like what I learned. It's also something that I do inside of our Master Coach program. So when I'm teaching people how to become master coaches, sometimes they want to learn what it is that I taught them and how they could teach it to other people. I'll go into my Evernote, which is where I keep all of my documents for all the trainings I ever do. I click the button and I share it with them. It's also a great place for, like, let's say that you have a group and you're like been teaching the same thing. You feel like, man, I want to teach something new. And you have this big place that you can go to and like go through all the past trainings you've ever done. You just scroll through and go, oh, I haven't done this one yet. Let me do that one. So it's not only a great like place to be able to share notes and information with people across like multiple different things, also a great storage place so that once you have it and you create it, I have all of the notes that I've ever done for videos. So if I want to go back and reproduce another video that's like a little bit different of a topic, but the same idea, I go back to that note. I can search through it through Evernote, pull it up, and I would make some adjustments to it. Because I know based off of like YouTube, I know, and I can see which videos really work. And I have all the notes to really be able to duplicate that again, right? So this is just a great system to have access to. So that way you can plug into it for yourself, share it with anybody, share it with your family members, share it with your teammates, be on the same page no matter which computer you're on. It's all going to be up to date, and also a good way of like storing things so you don't have to recreate the wheel every single week. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Number 7.
By the way, we're a little matchy.
We are. And then the back. Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Okay, so number 7 is Marco Polo. So this is a video and messaging system. There's a lot of different systems out there. There's like Voxer and Slack and all of that. We use Marco Polo because we like to kind of be face to face with people. We want to see, especially because we're coaches, we're life coaches. And when you're talking to someone, especially, we try not to coach through this app, but you can tell or see kind of like body language and everything that is a lot more helpful when you're talking to someone or you're trying to mentor and coach them. So Marco Polo is a video app. So, you can send a message through this, and, there's a lot of different features of it. There's a free version of it, but basically, this is something that we use a lot in our coaching business because a lot of people use it, and we can communicate this way. And it actually creates more of a community instead of just kind of like doing a voice message. It's just different, right? Because when you see that person's face, it's just a little different, right? Some people don't like it because they don't want to actually have to kind of like get themselves together so they can be good on camera.
Not my problem.
Yeah. Mark doesn't care. But yeah, this is just another tool that you can use to save time, because you don't have to write an email, you don't have to write a text. You could just pop up, open the app and be like, hey, these are my thoughts, or maybe responding to someone. So it's a really good app to use. Yeah.
And just to elaborate on that a little bit. So it is Android, iPhone. I don't think it's something you can get on your computer. It's just called Marco Polo. Super easy. Like once you get in there, you put somebody's phone number. That's how it associates the connection. You put their phone number in there, and then it connects you to them. And then when you click the button, you can either record a video of you, like just having a conversation, and hit end. It automatically will send it to them. You don't have to have you ever done that where you're doing a video and then you're trying to text it to someone? It's like, it can be very complicated. But now when you can go back in there, you can see if they've seen your video or anything like that. It's really cool how it gives you like this information behind it. But you can also just share your voice. You can also just share a picture. You can also do text if you decide to do text. There's a feature in there that I pay for. I get the, it's like $60 or $70 for the whole year for your family. It allows you to 2x the speed of the person who's talking. I would highly suggest that.
I'm a slow talker, so it's good.
Because if you want to really value your time, you're like, okay, like I can make a Marco Polo, but I would really hope that person will listen to that one in 2 times speed, because I think I said a little bit too much on it, right? So you can 2x it and you can make it go even faster with the paid version. But it's really cool because you get to see people. You also you can add multiple people into it and have like a room. So one of the things that we did recently is we recently took on a new team member. Her name is Sneha. She's going to be here doing a lot of thumbnails. She's going to be doing a lot of that behind the scenes stuff for us. And we were communicating over email and over text. And it's just different when you can't actually see the people. I want to know what the person is like, what their values are, like all those kind of things before I make a decision if they join my team. And so we're like, hey, can we jump on Marco Polo just to give us an idea of like just how the conversation was going? And I want her to also hear my heart, like just saying in an email, like, hey, family is really important to me. So I want to make sure that when you're on the team, like you always make sure your family is more important than getting back to us or doing something that we ask of you on the team, right? Just doing that over text or that's not the same as seeing me, like actually like having this conversation. So we had like 3 or 4 conversations back and forth. And I'm like, she's exactly the type of person that we want on the team. She is just like me, just like Kurt, just like Teresa, just like Nais. She's like really family oriented, but she's like also goal oriented. And she's going to do what it takes to kind of like level up our thumbnails on our videos to get more people to click on them, right? But it all happened through Marco Polo. It would have not been the same if it was over email or text. Do I do this for everybody? Absolutely not. Like some people, it's just good to be on text. Sometimes that's all you need, but sometimes you want a little bit more of a thorough explanation, or you want to hear it. You want to see the person. That's where something like Marco Polo is really helpful. Actually, I had one of my one-on-one clients was like, you know what? He's a doctor inside of a office that he runs, right? He wants to communicate to multiple people inside of there while he's on vacation. I'm like, grab Marco Polo, put everybody into a text thread and just say, hey guys, on vacation, but I wanted to pass something on. I'm super excited about this. I want to make sure that this is kind of like gets taken care of. And you just have one place where like now everybody can watch the video and you can go in there and see when it is that they actually watched it. So it's just a powerful tool. And then they can respond back to you on video, all that great stuff. So he was able to utilize that. But it's one of those great tools that with technology allows you to stay connected even more than if you were just doing chat or text. So that's why we recommend something like Marco Polo. Don't have a link to send you. Just go to Marco Polo, type it into your app on your iPhone or your Android. You'll be able to find it and then sign up and then start sending some messages. I promise you, like even sending messages to my mom and to my dad with the kids in the background, they're like, this is the greatest thing ever. Yeah, it's also great because I don't have to spend like 6 hours on the phone, right? But trying to catch up, I could just jump in there, do a quick Marco Polo. It's not something they watch live. It's something afterwards. They get a notification saying that I was inside of the app. And then they can go watch it, and then I can go watch the replay whenever they do it too. So it's really powerful, even for family, to be able to do that. Okay. All right. Yeah.
One more thing. It's also like a really great tool to help you not overthink the whole video thing, because you actually can't stop the Marco Polo. So it's like once you get started, if you make a mistake, you're like, you just have to move on. So it's just a really great way for you to improve your skills of, public speaking, really. So
yeah,
just
100%. Good. And I think I'm the next one because I think I talked too much on that one. Okay. So number 8 tool is Facebook ads. Okay. Facebook ads. I was kind of talking about this today on our master coach training. And that is like, when you've like perfected how to communicate with people, when you've perfected your program, your product, you've gotten to the point where you're like, I just need more humans to talk to. You have to find a tool that will help you expand your reach, expand and get you to talk to more people. Now, obviously for here, we're on YouTube, right? In the beginning, you're not going to have a lot of subscribers who watch your videos. I mean, literally, we've been doing this for like 9 months now, and we just got monetized. We just hit like 1,700 and something subscribers, and we've been doing a ton of stuff over the last 9 months, a bunch of videos, a bunch of training. And so you have to trade your energy and your time to expand your message. But when you get to a certain level, it's time to start using your money to expand your message. And that could be Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads. It could be anything. It could be a promotion. It could be you paying to get on somebody's podcast. It could be you doing like some type of swap. Like you will give somebody a free live coaching session if they allow you to get in front of their audience. You can do so many different things, but you got to think outside the box in terms of like, how can I pay to expand my audience. And one of the ways that we do that is Facebook ads. So we'll reach new people. We'll get them to sign up for an existing program or product. We'll talk about like our free book club or whatever. We'll get them. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen ads on Facebook from me talking about some of our different replays that we have over here, talking about some of our videos to get more of you over here watching our stuff, because pretty soon we'll probably be doing exclusive here and not so much on other social media platforms. But it's really about like, how can I expand my message and how can I talk to more people without me having to trade my time for that? All right. And a way of doing that, a great way of doing that is Facebook ads. It's pretty simple once you set it up the first couple times. I know I have a lot of one-on-one clients that ask me to walk them through it. Like usually after like 20 or 30 minutes, you're like good to go. I know there's a lot of YouTube programs and stuff around it. And of course, if you ever want Teresa or my help, you can also apply and we can reach out to you and help you with that kind of stuff. But it's a lot easier than you think after you get in there, make a few adjustments, and you should be good to go. So Facebook ads, such a very powerful tool. And I still think it's super underutilized and people aren't utilizing it as much as they should. And I'm glad they're not, because that means that ads are cheaper for me. But still, I highly recommend you do it if you want to spread your message easier without you using your extra time. Okay. Number 9, your favorite. You're probably going to be here all day. Should I go to the bathroom?
No, this is going to be quick.
Okay.
It's going to be quick. I promise. Okay. This is Canva. All right. So this is a site where you can create graphics. You can create pretty much anything that you would post on social media or flyers, brochures, anything like that. Anything that it's a creative place. I really use it for everything. And this is like, it's like hit or miss when it comes to time, because you can completely use it for as a time-saving tool, or you can use it as a time-wasting tool because you can go in there and be like a perfectionist and just be like, oh, well, this isn't right. And, the text, and you start messing around with it too much and you put too much effort into it, then it can be a time waster. But it can also be a time saver. If you're not a creative person, you're like, I just want to put something together that looks decent, then there's a lot of templates you can use in there for posts, for stories, like I said, for anything. I mean, I used it last week to help my son with his summer school class because he had to create an extra little project. And one of the tools that the teacher said was allowed was Canva. And I'm like, I got this. I got this. And my son, Andrew, was like, okay, like, why are you so excited about it? But because I use it so much, because it is a creative tool. I'm a creative person. I love that. I love like graphic design and all of that kind of stuff. So it's really allowed me to, use something fun, a fun tool for me, but also it's really like improved my skills as far as this. Like I've created, really pretty notebooks for my audience. And I'm even in the process of doing a little project as well. And I'm going to use Canva as part of it. So Canva is just a really great tool if you want to do something creative and you don't have the skills for it, or you do want to kind of like, create something that you don't want to hire somebody else to do. You can also hire somebody to do something for you in Canva. I've actually had somebody do that when it comes to branding, where they've created a logo, they've created brand colors, like all of that. So that's like, more advanced stuff. And that person used my Canva account to be able to do that. So now I have all of that there. So that way my content is on brand, because I have all that stuff there that would have taken me forever, because I'm not a graphic designer. I didn't go to school for that. So I hired someone to do that for me. And, it's really created a more cohesive brand for me.
Yeah. Canva is pretty awesome also because it has some AI tools that are built into it. You can literally ask it to write you a list or whatever, and it'll go in there and write it. So for Canva, for me personally, it actually is a time saver. I'm not the creative type. And so if I want to design a thumbnail for my podcast, I don't know what the dimensions are. I don't know like how it's supposed to fit into like how you're supposed to put everything in the actual thumbnail and what it's supposed to look like, how you're supposed to export it. Literally you go in there and you put podcast thumbnail. It pops up like a whole bunch of previous ones, templates that people have uploaded. We pay for the pro version of Canva.
You get more access.
You get more access to a lot of extra things. But basically it already has everything there. And I just changed the logo. I changed like maybe some of the words and I put my picture in there. And the picture like already populates into the right like frame of how it's supposed to be. I'm like, this is awesome. Like somebody already did the graphic design work. Now I'm just plugging and playing. And that's kind of like what Canva is. It's like a plug and play. It has things like that, but it also has the video. You guys know when you just started this, if you were live when it first started, where it's like streaming now and there's like motion graphics
and music.
That was not me. I typed in Canva, like streaming motion graphics, and it was like, oh, here's like 5 different ways. And I customized it with our colors, and I just downloaded it and uploaded it. And so it looks like everybody's like, oh my God, it looks so cool. And then the countdown and everything. I'm like, Canva saved my life when it comes to that. So that is one of those tools where when you aren't the most creative person, it can actually save you time. If you're super creative, sometimes you can get stuck in it, set a time frame and go, hey, I can only be in here for 10 minutes and then spend 10 minutes to go in there. Okay. All right. Last one, and definitely not by least, is we're going to talk about Mighty Networks. This is a little bit more higher level, and I want to explain it to you because it's a tool that helps me save a lot of time. So what Mighty Networks is it's a specific app that you can download. And once you download it, you can create your own, you can create your own Facebook. Think about that for a second. Instead of your people seeing ads, getting distracted by like cat videos and other people's reels and whatever Facebook wants to show them, you get to have total control over it. So what you do is when you go to Mighty Networks, you would sign up for an account and you would create what it looks like. The coloring, and believe me, I'm not the kind of person who's creative, but it walks you through the process super easy. You create what it looks like. And it's basically like you have a news feed, you have your little mini groups or courses, and you have like different things that you can send people links to. It has like free things where you can actually get people to sign up for a free group. If you're a member of our book club, you know this because you downloaded Mighty Networks. Our little version of that is called the Tactical Accountability Squad. That's where we are inside of that app. But once you get that app, now you can get them to turn on their notifications. And anytime you make a post in there, anytime you do messages, because you can do DM messages in there, anytime you put up a video, anytime you do like any kind of chat, there's so many different features, just like Facebook. Literally, you have your version of it. And it helps you to bring your community together to not make them see like I used to hear a lot of people like, well, is my brother or my sister going to be seeing what I'm posting? And inside this group and app, it's only what the creator decides, who the creator decides to let in. So it's just the people who are inside of there. It's a very tight-knit community. And it really protects the security and integrity of your group. That being said, it's also where you can accept money and invoices. You can make a group paid. So I have a leadership program. It's called the Ideal Leader Blueprint. That's a paid program. Only people who can see that one are actually people who pay to get in there. I have one-on-one programs that I've done in there. I have group programs that I've done in there, mastermind teams. And so you have the main news feed that everybody who's in the app can see, and then little mini like Facebook groups per se that only people who've either paid or you've asked to be in there get to be in there. It's a great way of you personalizing this. I don't think it's something that's absolutely necessary for most people. Like most people are like, I just want to start on a Facebook group, right? If you're somebody who's just getting started, this could get you to feel like, oh my God, I have to have all this before I get started. And the answer is no. This is one of those tools where we over time said, you know what? We want to have our own place that we can have people. We want to have our own community, which is why like I'm putting our book club people in there, because now we have, I think it's like almost 2,000 people. I haven't checked recently what the numbers are. I think we have 2,000 humans that are inside of our app that get notified whenever we do something or say something or have some type of post or video or anything in there. And it's our stuff. So when they go in there, they're going to see our stuff 100% of the time. 50% of the time, they see it all the time. But in reality, like when they go in there, they're not going to be bombarded by ads or the algorithm, because it's going to show them everything that we posted in there. So it's really powerful when you have some kind of tool like that, community tool. It gets you to feel like you're next level, but it also gets your people to feel like, oh, wow, like they're really over delivering for this. All right. It is a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $1,000 for a year or something like that. I forget exactly how much it is, but there is a free version. And we'll leave it inside of the description. It's right there. It's modernleadership.us/mighty networks. And you can see what the free version kind of comes with, and you can go from there. Okay. So that was, guys, the 10 tools. Now we have one more bonus one, and I'll see if Teresa wants to do it or if she wants me to do it. We have 8 minutes left before we hit the top of the hour, but we have a bonus tip that is one that we think you need to employ as soon as possible. Do you want to do it?
You do it.
You
do it.
You, me. Okay. Bonus tip, guys, is a virtual assistant, is a team member, a team mate. So we talked about tools. Let's go over them real quick. ChatGPT, ConvertKit, Meta Business Manager, Calendly, Dubsado, Evernote, Marco Polo, Facebook ads, Canva, Mighty Networks. And these are awesome. But they also require a human to input and to do them and to manage them. The thing that is like next level is when you have somebody on your team that you can empower to take control of these things, to be on the mission with you, to be working maybe when you're sleeping and you're sleeping when they're working, to really go out and divide and conquer, take things off your plate that you're not good at or that you don't want to do, that they excel at. The quicker that you can do that, the faster you're going to grow your business. So finding a virtual assistant before you're ready, I guarantee you, if you hire a virtual assistant and only give them 5 hours that week, you're going to be like, can you do 10 next week? And can you do, we literally now we're going to have 5 teammates on our team, because every time, number one is I want to be able to help support other people as much as I can. And actually having somebody on your team that you can pay and help support them in their life feels amazing, but also it helps speed up the process of me and our growth and makes it so that I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed, that I have to do everything. I can literally outsource that and empower other people to take it on, and then to raise up other leaders so they can take on even more responsibilities as we grow. It is such a powerful thing, but I got to say, it's kind of hard to find the right person, but we got you covered. All right. So Teresa and I did a video. We'll leave it at the end. It's a workshop replay that we did. It talks about how to master the art of hiring, delegating, training, like in your entrepreneur journey, to find the right person, and then how to train them to really step up and become a powerful leader. Because you can do the opposite, where you find the wrong person. And then when you find the wrong person, you can teach them how to not treat you well and how to make it feel like it's like a resentful kind of like situation and not get the best done. We've actually taken all those like problems and eliminated them for you by doing this teaching and this training. And we'll leave you that up at the end. And no, Kurt is not available right now. He is my man. He cannot. And so is everybody else on our team. But it's when you find like those diamonds in the rough, the people who are like incredible humans who also have the same values as you, also want it just as bad as you, and they're going to be running in the same direction as you. That's where you really have a team, not just people who work in your business with you. Legitimately a team who want it bad as you. Guys, I can't tell you how much Kurt is committed. He's more committed, believe it or not, than me. And it's really powerful when you can team up with people who are like that. It makes it feel like you're not alone, and you can convince yourself to do more actions than when you didn't have somebody. So definitely check out that recording, check out that replay. I'll leave it in the description and also at the end once this video is done processing. We appreciate you so much for today. I don't know, we might be able to clone Kurt. Once we get to that point, I might have to do that. But appreciate you guys so much for making it to the end. Also, if you didn't see, like I kind of got a tan. Yep. Yeah, I bet you can tell. I knew that Ed has seen that I got a tan. I know you did. But we will be back next week at our regularly scheduled time on Saturday. Tomorrow, we're getting a puppy. I have no idea what my life's going to look like for next week. It might be sitting right next to me and yelping during my next call. I don't know. This is the power of, I guess, what we do here. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for making it to the end. Keep rocking it. If you're not a part of our book club, definitely check out that in the show notes, resources.modernleadership.us/book club, which is, we're reading Extreme Ownership right now. Super powerful. But guys, appreciate you so much. Look forward to seeing you guys very, very soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Bye, everybody.